just around the top 1/3 of the page, where Ms. Lim first appears, and she starts with "you see." Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Yes. She says, "You see, it never crossed my mind, and I cannot fathom this possibility that Pritam would have given her the option to choose between telling the truth or continuing the lie. That never crossed my mind, and I do not believe it to be true." So when she comes and says, I don't think I want to tell the truth, I think it's just her. It's nothing to do with Mr. Singh at all. Ms. Lim says that it's not fathomable that you would have given Ms. Khan a choice. But based on these notes on the 29th of November, it would appear that you gave her a choice, of course, in the context in which it is used. Would you agree?
In the context in which it is used, yes.
Yes, but would you agree that one reasonable construction or interpretation from Ms. Khan on the 3rd of October would be that she would be given a choice as to whether to tell the truth or to continue with the lie?
Mr. Tong, I didn't tell her on the 3rd of October that it is your call to make. I didn't say that to her. I told her that she would have to take ownership and responsibility. On the notes written by Ms. Lim, yes, indeed, I would have put the question to Ms. Khan in that manner. But it's not just that which is important. And as I conceded, I can understand why that line of questioning is something that you're pursuing. You also have to see what comes after that, which is,
I understand.
You can't tell a lie, right? So I think it was I wouldn't want to use the word abridged, but I had just put the matter across to Ms. Khan at the DP in that manner.
Right. So you're saying that despite the way in which you had phrased the question on the 29th of November to Ms. Khan, you didn't use those words.
That's right. On the 3rd of October.
On the 3rd of October. If you didn't use those words, how would you have conveyed to her that it was your call? Why would you say to her on the 29th of November that it was your call?
I think it was in the context of how she was responding to us. I mean, that whole meeting on the 29th was a meeting where she was just continually crying and crying and crying. And in that context, I put a question which I felt could elicit a response which would be helpful to the DP. So that's how I put the question.
Right. And so you're not saying that you had phrased it in this way, but would you not accept that the way in which you had characterized how you left Ms. Khan on the 3rd of October after the meeting and your frame of mind about how sure she was that she would come and tell the truth would be quite a different characterization from the words "your call" taken in the context of the notes on the 29th of November?
To the extent that you're making the comparison, I would agree.
Yes.
In the course of, I think I must have shared something like about 100 pages of documents to the committee of communication, I think 1 or 2 emails, 1 email at least. There's also an exchange I have with Ms. Khan's father that takes place sometime in the middle of October. I
second half of October.
Yes, and I think that's the point when she actually tells her parents what's happening. And ownership and responsibility are quite a major part of my message to Mr. Khan. And I think those words were really the central focus of what I expected Ms. Khan to do had the matter come up post 3rd of October.
You have made it quite clear to us that your intent was to make sure that, and your impression was that Ms. Khan was under no illusions, that on the 4th of October, should the issue arise, she was to tell the truth.
Yes, sir.
And you have taken you have been very specific, as I flagged up before, that she needs to take ownership and responsibility. And you also did make mention of the words, "you will not judge her." But she had a different interpretation of this, obviously. So we have to ascertain which seems to make sense. And we need to determine as to what your directions as leader of opposition was. What is quite clear, she had lied and repeated a lie, and we need to determine the level of responsibility.
I think, Chair, I agree. I don't disagree with you. And it didn't cross my mind that you've already lied. You've already made the admission to your party leadership. Why would you lie again?
Understand.
So I expected her to...
And to make clear, but as we all know, and I think has been registered by all of you, that it's a grave matter. We do note that you recounted this incident to Ms. Low and Mr. Nathan, both of which interpreted it differently from how you intended it to be.
I wouldn't say differently, Chair. I'm just basing my comments on memory of what they said in their evidence to the committee. I don't think they were equivocal about having a different understanding.
But it wasn't clear in their minds that you had told her, indeed.
It was a nuanced reading of what.
So they didn't get this
happened.
from Ms. Khan, they got this from you, and you recounted this. And importantly, it was recounted on the 12th of October.
Yes, that's right.
When actually she had, I would imagine, disappointed you by not telling the truth on the 4th.
Yes, that's right.
And that aspect of being disappointed, and I would imagine you would have been rather angry that she didn't follow your instructions and intent. That element of it didn't quite come up in the way they interpreted it, because they still felt it wasn't so clear. So I'm just recounting.
Yeah, yes, I don't dispute your.
And of course, I think why we raised this issue, which I think you have given your evidence and we noted.
I just wanted to add also the context, which I don't believe you've mentioned, Chair, of my response and attitude to her after she told the lie, which I didn't know was a lie, after the 3rd of August. Just following up with her to make sure that what she said is even true.
Indeed. Whether it actually happened, and this was taking place in the course of the few days after the 3rd, leading up to the 7th, when she informed you, when you knew, and you got, you put down the phone.
I think the point is the state of mind of me as the Party Secretary General. The easier approach was just to ignore it.
That's right. So that part, I don't think we have much in dispute.
Sure.
Because this is where we need to determine the level of responsibility. As I said, there's no question whatsoever she lied, and she lied repeatedly. We need to understand the context.
I understand.
And that's really where it is.